Okay, so this section of the discussion is talking about how the easiest way for everyone to take their trades. There's an easy way to take trades without much analysis. Not everyone can check TradingView. Not everyone has the time and patience to look through the markets. That is why we loved the least performing coin strategy right from months and months, over a year ago. We always sought for the least performing coin on RoyalQ. Now, Mr. Izu, Engineer Izu here, has brought out this setting. This is the setting that we can apply to our trades. And this 24816 simply refers to default martingale. All right, this simply refers to the default martingale, the doubling method, where each level is double of the previous level. All right, we're going to show you that. Meanwhile, if you want to know much about the settings in RoyalQ, we have a video for that. So we'll not be explaining those settings here. All right, so if you have a capital of $300, you can put your first buying amount as 20. If you have $450, you can put your first buying amount as 30. And you can calculate all of this. And it's important for you to know that every trade has a capital requirement. And the capital requirement is discerned from the setting right here. So let's get right into it. Okay. So first margin call, the call drop is 3.5%. If the market drops by 3.5%, which it likely would, no matter how sharp your signal is, market could drop by 3.5%. If it drops by that percentage, buy 2 times. Because here's $40. All right, that means double of 20, which is your first buying amount. So that is buy 2 times. That's why the first one here is 2. Okay. Now, if it drops again by 5%, buy 4 times. Okay. So this is $80 here. This $80 is 4 times of the first buying amount. So I can type 4 here. I can put in 2 here. As multiple buying ratio. All right, it's called multiple buying ratio. Now the third one here is 16, which means just do this 20 times 16. All right, 16 times. That will give you 8 times. 8 times, okay, because it's double. It's 8 times. So 8 times 20, that is $160. So that's a setting. Once you use this setting, all you need to do is just to search for the least performing coin and enter your trade. So we're going to show you how to do that right now. Okay, the least performing coin strategy is something we used a lot in the early days, but we are refining it. Now, please take note, when the market is pumping, Bitcoin market direction is greenish, bullish, you will always very easily have fast sales. But remember, when Bitcoin is heading downwards, you might have a little bit of, slower trades. That shouldn't bother you. That's the nature of the market. Relax. Market is still going to face up and you'll be in business. All right. So let me show you where this setting is put in. So remember, the percentage here is 3.5%, 5 and 10%. You can tweak it to anyhow you want. But why I love this setting is because it allows you to tolerate 10 plus 5 plus 3.5, which is 18.5%. And I've always, mentioned in the group that always trade with at least 20% drop in price tolerance. So 18.5% is good enough. So you can decide to tweak your own and, make this 4 or make this 6. You can play around with it. But just remember, be ready to tolerate between 18 to 20% drop in price. And also remember this. If there is a need, you can open margin call 4. Margin call 4 will be 16 times. So what you're going to have is 16 times 20. All right. And that's going to be, let's see, 16 times 20, which is going to give you $320 extra. Okay. So be open-minded to that possibility, because as the market dips, you keep lowering the average price. Meanwhile, this method works with whole warehouse mode. That being said, let's get right into it. Where do you enter the settings? I tell people to save it in the strategy section of your settings. All right. So when you open your settings, when you click, let me try and do some annotation here. Okay, so when you open your bot, you're going to see, okay, you're going to see this mine section. You click on it. Then you see my strategy settings, my strategy settings. So you click on it. When you click on my strategy settings, it's going to open up and you see all the settings you've saved. If you're doing this for the first time, it's going to be blank. You're not going to have any settings. All you have to do is click here, click on the plus and enter the settings. So when you click on the plus, because I'm not here to put in another setting, I look at the setting here. I've already named it here. Okay. So because I want to show you the setting which you're going to put in. Remember, if you just click on plus, let me just click on the plus. If you click on the plus, you're going to get this kind of screen. So you're going to enter those settings here. All right. So let's just act as if we're entering the settings. I always use radical here. So I change this, click on that and change it to radical. Confirm. Then first buying amount, $20. If you want to operate with $300 of, if you want to operate with $450, you put in $30. Yes, your choice. Okay. So let's just put in $30. Let's say you have $450. Open position doubled, just leave it as turned off. Okay. AM margin call, just turn it off. We are setting our margin calls with the 3.55% and 10%. So we're not doing AI margin calls. All right. Then margin call limit. Now this is where you set just 3. Remember, we're just doing 3 margin calls. So you change what is default there and put in 3. And the next step is hold position, take profit. I like to keep this as default of 3%. But for every trade, you're going to look at your support and resistance values and determine your hold position, take profit. All right. Then hold position, take profit callback. I like to make this 0.01, okay, or 0.001, anyone. 0.01 or 0.001, anyone. That's fine. Margin configuration, that is where if you tap on margin configuration, it's going to open those margin configurations. So remember, this is margin call drop, and this is multiple buying ratio. So remember the screen where I was showing you, this is the multiple buying ratio, 248. Okay, and this is the margin call drop. All right, this is very important for you to remember. Okay, so we'll go back, and so we'll put 3.5 here, 5 here, and then we'll make it here. We're gonna make it just 10. All right. Then remember here we say it's 248. Perfect, right? That's the default martingale, and that's what's default on the app already. It defaults that way, but just confirm. Once you do that, you just go to the bottom of the page, click on confirm, and the next thing is to come down here. You've set margin configurations already, so you click on buying callback. Just make that 0.001 also. Buying callback 0.001 or 0.01, anyone works. Then strategy period. So we operate with one shot. You want a situation where you're going to sell off and walk away. However, I'm also going to show you how you can operate in cycle. And Engineer Zoo came up with this idea that we can operate in cycle between support and resistance lines, and between not just support and resistance. Remember, we have this liquidity levels. So you can actually operate within the liquidity levels and keep taking, let's just say, keep taking 1.7%, 1.7% again and again and again, or 2%, 2%, 2% again and again and again and again and again until, when you hit the support level, you just exit and put it on one shot. So to change it from cycle to one shot, just keep this, just tap on that. Okay. If you want to keep it on cycle, just tap on it again and it becomes cycle. These last 2 lines, nothing for you to put in there. Okay. And that's it. You click on save. And so you want to click on save. So you want to confirm it, confirm. And see, this setting, we didn't put a remark. So it's going to look confusing to us because we didn't put a remark. And why did I say that? This is the setting right here. But it's difficult for you to determine what is, to make it easy to recognize, like I have a setting for everyone. So what we needed to do was just come here, click on this button and put a remark. So let me just put least performing coin. All right. So depending on your capital, that's what will determine your first buying amount. Please take note of that. And so when I save it again, you will see that, and I click on confirm, you're going to see that it's there, least performing coin. But I already have this setting already somewhere here, and I've named it this. So I'm going to just delete this one because I don't want to have too many of that. All right, so I'm just going to click on delete, and I confirm that delete. So when you save your setting this way, when you want to take a trade, you don't have to type all of those settings again and again and again. That's why we say put it in the section of my strategy settings. Okay, so that's very important. Now, when you've done this, what do you do? The next step is to trade. So how do you choose least performing coin? Before we go into the detail about the least performing coin, remember how to calculate this figure. So if this is 8, this is 4, that is 12, right? And this is 2, that is 14, right? Then plus the first buying amount, which is 1, so 1 time, 2 times, 4 times, 8 times, that is 14 plus 1, that is 15. So that is how you calculate your capital. Since your first buying amount, if it's 20, then that is 20 times 15. Okay, that's $300. If you put $30 as your first buying amount, that's 30 times 15. And that gives you $450. If you decide to put $50, that means multiplied by 15, that means you've had a capital earmark of $750. Now, leave that $750. Some people make this mistake because they see 5 signals coming in one day. They feel they have to trade all of those signals, and all they have is the $450 or the $750. Please know how much is earmarked to your trade, and don't trade unless you have the extra cash. Okay, so if, for example, I'm using $30 as first buying amount, I know it's $450, right? So if I have $900, that means I can take 2 trades. 2 trades. Okay, if I have 1,500, that means I can take 3 trades comfortably with an extra $150, on top to take one other small manual trade. Okay, so just remember this. Even if the bulk of the money you earmarked has not been used, relax. Just leave it there, because you never know when the market will dip. Remember the meaning of all these percentages. It means if the market drops by this percentage, buy this. If it drops by this percentage, buy this. If it drops by this percentage, buy this. So that money is earmarked and ready to be used. So keep it, there. A lot of people ask me this question: can I trade more coins? I ask the question, how much capital do you have? If your trade, based on your calculation and margin call settings, only allows you to, one trade has 300 earmarked and you have $600, then you can take 2 trades. But if all you have is that money earmarked for 1 trade, please just stick to 1 trade and don't take those chances. All right, so let's get back into the app. Let's go look at this least performing coins option. What do? You click on home. You click on home and you look at a lot of least performing coins. Even if you don't know what to do, you don't have trading view charts, you see this change here, this change line here, this change, there's an arrow there. Just tap on the arrow, right? Just tap on the arrow. All right, so now the coin with the highest growth is on top. But now I want to tap on it again so that it will be the other way around. So I tap on it again. Sorry, I tap on it again. So it's show me OMG as the least performing coin. So let's confirm that. Do it again. So OMG is the least performing coin. If you have the time to check the charts, you can just open up your trading view charts and go try check what OMG is saying. Okay, OMG USDT. All right. Even if you don't have the trading view chart, not to worry, but this is the chart of OMG. Now, if you just open up OMG, you don't have the support and resistance. You don't have to do this. I'm just saying if you have the time to do this, then you just need to go to the 4-hour charts of OMG, click on the lines, okay, and go ahead with your support and resistance, drawing your horizontal lines, yeah? So this is the horizontal line. I draw it at the tip here. I draw it here. Sorry. I take this here again. Draw it here. And then we're trying to get the bottoms, the support and resistance zones. And we don't want to draw too many lines all over the place either. So that's it. Just locate the key ones that seem to repeat themselves. All right. I see this one seems to have repeated itself here. Yeah. And that's it. In between here, I see another space to draw some line, which is somewhere here. All right. So that's it. This looks like a very simple one. All right. So having drawn it, I'm just going to go back to the 1-hour chart and I'm going to change this to candlesticks. Remember, you don't have to do this, but least performing means it has dipped. And oh, yes, it has dipped. All right. Oh, yes, it has dipped. So we can just come in here and take the trade. Now, when you take the trade here, how do you take profits? I will tell you that if I enter this trade, which I'm going to enter now for OMG, I will just take my profits. This is 10%. But you know, the market is crazy. Just put it at 5%. All right, or 6%. But I'm telling you, if you look at this liquidity level mark here, it's telling me I can take 10% on this. In fact, it's telling me I could go higher, but I don't want to go higher. I just want to stick with something that works. Why am I sticking to 6 or 8%? Because there's a lot of noise here, right? If you look here, there's been a lot of noise. And everywhere there's a lot of noise means there's likely to be a resistance. So look at here, there's a lot of noise. Look at here, there's some noise here. So I could decide to just be on the safest side, come to the level that is like this level, be on the safest side, yeah? Even come to the same, you know, you can just decide, you know, just take 6% and walk away and be okay. Even a 5% is not a bad deal. Take a 5% and walk away. Yes, the market could move higher, but hey, you don't care. So that's what I'm telling you. If this market pumps, you can make so much more. But remember to just always look to your left side. So if I'm going to set this trade, I'm going to set it to be here, 8%. All right. So let's go to OMG. Now, I'm going back to my screen so you can have a look at this. OMG, OMG. I click on it. You don't have to wait for the chart to open up. But even when it opens up, I click on 1-hour chart here if you want to be curious. I love it when the chart has dipped. When it dips, it means there's money to be made. So what you need to do is to click on create. All right. You should be on market section. All right. Market, click on create. Now, when you click on create, you're going to click on Martingale strategy bot. Click on Martingale strategy bot, and you click on create again. Then there are two options. Don't worry about the one upstairs, up here, because you're not syncing with any professional trader. You are creating your own strategy. So you click on this one here at the bottom. Now, when you click on it, it opens up this page. Don't bother about entering any setting here. Don't bother about any of that. Just come to the bottom left here where you have trade setting. Click on trade setting. When you click on trade setting, just make sure the manually create tab is clicked, not the smart create, manually create. Then you come to this yellow button here, or just click on choose a strategy setting. So don't bother typing anything. You don't have time to type anything, and that's the same way you enter signals. You don't waste time because you already type the settings down. So you just click on this, and it opens up and shows you all those things you saved. Now, which one am I taking? I remember it. I named it, Izu strategy for $450. So I just click anywhere here. I could just tap here or here. All right, just tap anywhere there. And once I tap there, you see it has brought the setting, but be careful. Sometimes it changes the first buying amount figure. So please edit your first buying amount figure. Don't make the mistake. I do with $30 now because I'm trying to earmark $450 per trade, and we've shown you how to calculate that. This, it's already taking the settings. AI is turned off. Open position double is turned off. You see, it's 3%. Now, because I've checked and I want to take how much percentage? 8%. All right. So that's why I'm taking 8%. I'm going to change the whole position take profit to 8%, but please do take 5% because it's safer. All right. So you can sell off. case you don't have much patience, then don't be greedy. Just take 5%, even 3%. Celebrate your wins and walk away. All right. And it can be on cycle. And I'll come to that in a moment. So with that, 8%, it's good to confirm the margin configurations if you're just curious. You know, is there 3.5, 5, 10? Everything is there saved. Click on confirm. Nothing else to do. Everything is perfect. Just click on save at the bottom. Confirm. And what next? Here we are. Of course, by default, the strategy mode is whole warehouse mode because it's just margin call 1 to 4. So we'll kind of just check whole warehouse mode there because sub mode cannot even be activated, you know, at that level. So that's it. You just click on start. All right. Here's a summary of everything. First buying amount 30, 3 margin calls, take profit 8%. This is just a summary. Looks good enough. Click start. For OMG, we've started. Now, this trade could take 24 hours, 48 hours, doesn't matter. Just know that you're in the trade. And it's a spot trade, so you have nothing to worry about. If you look at the top left here, one shot, it means this is a one-shot trade. If you want to change it to cycle, just click on this and change it to cycle. But always look at the top left here to see the mode you're operating on. So here's the thing. If you want to be taking 1.5% or 1.7% and operating cycle, you can actually do that. All right, you can actually do that. And this is what you're going to do. You're going to be watching this market and we're observing this until the the price goes from here. It might reverse to this point or even here. All right. And you're protected. Even if the price goes negative, you're protected by 18%, right? By 18%. So you can tolerate up to here with ease. And that's good enough. That's good enough. All right. So you relax and be ready to take your 4 or 5%. Some people just take 3% and just target this top here and be ready to walk away. But if you have been used to this system, you just learn to be patient. All right, take the 8%. So that's it. You can keep cycling, being on cycle mode, cycle until it hits here. Then when the price hits here, you can decide to put it on one shot so that when it sells off again, it releases the entire trade and all the assets bought. That is the summary of buying with the least performing coin. And when you've done the trade, you can now click on bot. You can click on bot here to see the trade running. Sometimes it takes some time to fully load, but you can just click on this back arrow. And one thing to say, when you come to a trade that is running, all right, so this is the OMG, and you tap on it. Avoid, if you want to go back, avoid clicking on this back arrow because if you click on this pause, not so good. So I always prefer to use the top left arrow to find my way back. All right, so that's it. If I see this coin pumping, I do something. I go and do manual replenishment, but that's another talk for another day. That's just keeping it simple. That's how you trade with the least performing coin. You don't have to look at the charts so aggressively. You can just go in, look at how much that's dipped and decide to take 1.5% or take 2 or 3% and walk away. If you can look at the charts, you can get better idea of support and resistance. That's all there is to it. Not much. That's all basically there is to it. Most of these trades always exit within 24 hours. If the market is moving upwards, you know, 48 hours, you've made some good money, walk away. Keep your eyes, and I'll tell you the results of this trade when it comes to the OMG we took today. So that's it for this ISO strategy. I believe that was clear enough.